Hi there, and thank you for tuning in. My gimbal, of course, just ran out of power, so I hope you're not getting too seasick watching this. But I'm out here today testing this product from Synco. It's basically a wireless microphone, and what it does is that it enables you to put a microphone very close to the sound source, in this case being me, and then you have a receiver in the bottom of your iPhone. You can get this product both for iPhone and for Android, but today I'm just reviewing the product for the iPhone, but I would imagine they work very much the same. The reason why I'm out here is I wanted to show you the difference between, or show you when it's sound. I know, can you show sound? I'm not sure you can, but I wanted to illustrate the difference in the sound level or the sound quality when using this product and not. And currently I'm using the internal microphones. And you can see it's a beautiful day. This is April 2022 and the spring hasn't really arrived yet, but you can see from the colors that it's close. And there's a little bit of ambient noise. You can hear the birds. And what I wanted to do was to see if I could test what it sounds like when I use the product from Synco. So let me mount it and be right back. So that was it. You can see now I have the sender here, and it sort of has a rolling LED, and that signals that it's connected to the receiver, and the receiver sits right at the bottom of the iPhone, and it does exactly the same. It has these rolling LEDs to signal that there's connection. If you don't like that, you can switch it off in configuration, so don't worry if you don't like the look of this. But what I wanted you to pay attention to was the sound, because sound is super important when you make video. Even though I guess we all like a view like that, you know, sunshine coming through trees. We also pay attention to the sound, and they say that a poor video with good sound is actually okay, but a good video with poor sound, that most people will actually drop out of. And you can test it if you listen to, for instance, CNN or another news channel where they often interview people that are far away and on a poor line. If the sound is bad, then it tends to, you know, you have a problem in maintaining focus. You simply check out of it and say, that doesn't work. So sound is super important. Can you hear the birds? I'll shut up. It's nice. So hopefully you can hear a difference. And the whole point with this construction is, I guess there are 2 points. One is, of course, to have a better microphone than one you have in your iPhone. And the other thing is to bring the sound, the microphone as close to the sound source as possible. In this case, my mouth. So the further away you move a microphone from the sound source, the more complicated it becomes to make good sound. And if you try some of these shotgun microphones, I've never had success with those. So this is the way to go if you want better sound. Now you can hear the pigeons as well. A lot of birds making noises here. Yeah, so here we are in my studio, and I'm using my normal microphone here, the Audio Technica, that I love very much. It's a little bit a demanding microphone because it requires powering from a USB connection. So I can only use it together with a PC, and that's why I typically use it here in the studio. But I love the sound of this microphone very much, and I just wanted to give you as a reference point towards how the Synco performs. And here I have the product mounted at the bottom of the iPhone, and as you can see, it's a flashing bar because the sender is not switched on, so of course they are not communicating. You can also see here that the connection is very thin. It's not wider than the connection into the iPhone itself, and I think that makes it somewhat vulnerable to accidents. If you drop your iPhone, I think this would be damaged really, really badly. So maybe in the next version, Synco can make this connection here a little bit stronger. That would be one of my points for improvement. I will say though that you have to acknowledge that the combined solution here, I'm holding up the sender, so you have both of them. These two together are 17 grams, 17 grams. That must be probably one of the lightest solutions that is out there. And if you're a weight weenie, I definitely think this combination here should be on your shortlist. Another thing that's pretty impressive with this little product is that if these two units have line of sight, meaning they have nothing in between that blocks the direct communication between them, then they have a reach of up to 150 meters. And if there is something between them, then it has a reach of around 50 meters. And I asked my happy assistant to go and check if he could measure and test that these two distances was actually also what you would get in real life. So let's see how he did. So, welcome to the ocean. You can see it's a dramatic day. Okay, I think I'll just stop him right there, because the problem is, as you could hear, there was a lot of wind. He was at the beach. Naturally, there's often very much wind at the beach. And if you are planning to be shooting with this microphone here, places where there is a lot of wind, you will experience that the microphone simply picks up the noise from the wind. And you need something like, this is called the dead cat, don't ask me why, but basically some solution that will protect the microphone from picking up the noise from the wind. And you've probably seen these also when a journalist interviews someone. They have these things that cover the microphone. It would be nice if it was possible to mount some sort of a windshield dead cat on top of the microphone here, so that you wouldn't pick up so much noise that it's practically impossible to hear what's being said. But let's get back to him. I asked him to go to a less windy place, of course. So I will try to walk backwards like this and then turn around once in a while, just to test the difference between line of sight and no line of sight. So here I'm turning around, I'm walking a little bit downhill, so you may lose sight of me, but there should still be a reasonable line of sight if I turn around like this. I think I can still see the iPhone at least when I do like this. I will say this test is perhaps a little bit silly because, well, who needs this much distance? But it just goes to show that it's a fine piece of signal here. I'm turning around here. There's still line of sight, I would say. So there you have it, the conclusion from the distance test. I hope it didn't make you fall asleep, but the point is that it gives you so much reach or distance, even without line of sight, that I cannot imagine what you would need all this distance for. So for my use, this is more than plenty. Supplied with the microphone, you will find this little cable, and that enables you to connect a headset to the receiving end. Of course, this is only useful for studio situations because, you know, now you're physically connected with a cable. So the whole point with the wireless is a little bit gone. But the idea is that you get feedback, and you can see here I have now a possibility to hear what I'm saying. So I get a feedback and can check the sound, that it sounds okay. There's a little bit of an echo, but I think it's okay to be useful. And what you can also check here, if you push the button here, on the receiving end, there's a little button you can push. You start applying these sound effects, and has quite a lot. So once you have selected the sound effect, you will get the feedback in your ear, and you can hear what the sound that is recorded, what that will be like. And it has 8 of them. And the first one is this one. It's called Studio Effect, and actually it tells me in my ear now I'm with Studio Effect, which to me sounds a little bit like it's just echo. You can also see here I'm recording video. I tried in the beginning just to record a voice memo, but that didn't work for some reason. But it works when it's video, but I can't do it standalone, only recording sound, so be mindful of that. Second effect is called KTV effect, which to me just sounds like an awful lot of echo. Voice amplification. This one could perhaps have been useful in a studio situation, I think, but it just, to me, sounds like a lot of echo. Electronic dance music, that's probably none.
And then there's the baby effects. Now I sound like a little baby. Then there's translation from male to female, so apparently now I sound
like a female. And then the other way around, female to male, that gives me a very deep voice. You can use that to record perhaps some commercial voiceovers.
And the final effect, I think, is the monster effect. I'm not sure you can even understand what it is I'm saying, but it sure is a bit scary.
And finally, we're back to the original sound. Yep, so that was the effect for you. The final thing I want to mention is the battery life. The specs say up to 5 hours, and I have every reason to believe that is true. And it is way more than what I need. Even when I do long videos, I do maybe 15 minutes. That's the longest I do. So for my use, I have no need for 5 hours. And even if it's only 3 hours, it would still be plenty. And I think also the fact that you have this power bank where you can put the microphone when you're not using it, and then it's charging, that's absolutely brilliant. The battery is of course only in the sender side, because the receiving side here, I would assume, takes power from your smartphone. In terms of what's in the box, I'm sure we have covered most of it. The only thing I've not mentioned is the charging cable in the bottom and the user guide. Otherwise, I think all the other parts have been in use in this video. So to wrap, here's my list of pros and cons. In terms of price, I believe the product is around €100, but remember to factor in both transportation costs and import taxes if you buy online. I will post links to the product in the description below. Also, if you want more details as to how to use the product, I will post links to my blog where I give a bit more detail. As always, stay safe and take care. Bye bye.